Hi guys, so welcome to the second part of the Alien Loomigurumi tutorial. So let's just start off with his eyes in this part. So you need 3 eyes. So first of all, let's take a black band. What we're going to do is we're going to do a magic ring with 4 stitches. So I'm wrapping this black band around my hook 2 times to create 3 loops. My first stitch of my ring will be a slip stitch, so this counts as 1 stitch, and I'm going to do 3 single crochets. So this is 1 stitch, so this is 2, three, and 1 more, 4. Okay, so now switching over to white bands, my second round of this eye, I'm going to do an increase in each stitch to make 8 stitches in this round. So I'm just going to go through the first stitch. I'm getting my white bands now, so my first stitch of my second round, I'm doing a single crochet, a slip stitch. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to go back through that same stitch for an increase. And then I'm just going to increase in each stitch from then on. Let me just count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1 more set. Okay, so this is round 2 of the eye. So round 3, we're still continuing on with the white. We want to increase it to 12 stitches. So what we're going to do is a single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're increasing in the second stitch, and we're doing that all the way around. So I'm going through this first stitch. I'm going to do 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, I'm going to do an increase. Next stitch, 1 single crochet. Then I'm going to increase in the next stitch. Once again, next stitch has a single crochet, next stitch has an increase, and we're doing that 1 more time. So next stitch, single crochet, and then the last stitch you have an increase. So actually we're done with 1 eye. So the next thing you want to do, you just want to fasten off. So go through the first stitch and you're going to tie a slip stitch. Alright, and then I'm just going to take out the marker and I'm just going to put a clip at the end. So you need 3 eyes in total, so just go back to the beginning of the video and make your other 2 eyes, and then or just 1 more eye, and then we'll continue, and I'm just going to make 1 of each of its extra parts. So yeah, just go back to the beginning, make another eye. So next up we're making a leg. So I'm doing this in jelly navy blue as well. I do not have enough to complete it, so just to let you know, I will be completing this in another shade of navy blue, and if I need to I'll be using black, but just stick to 1 color. So the first thing you want to do, we want to make a magic ring with 6 stitches. So I'm taking my band, I'm wrapping it around my hook 2 times to create 3 loops. My first stitch will be a slip stitch, going back through the center. I'm going to do 5 single crochets. So this is my first stitch, single crochet, my second stitch, back through, third stitch, back through, fourth stitch, 5th stitch, and the final stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that round. So for round 2 is leg, we're just increasing this to 12 stitches, so it's a single crochet in each stitch. The first stitch of the second round will be a slip stitch to close up that ring. This counts as 1 stitch. Oops. So I'm going to go back through the center for a single crochet, and I'm just going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch from now on. Okay, so this is round 2 of his feet. So for round 3, we want to increase this to 14 stitches. So what we're going to do is an increase in the first stitch, a single crochet in the next 10 stitches, and an increase in the last stitch. So we're starting off first with our increase. I'm going to count up to 10, so it's a single crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So once I've done 10, I have an increase in the last stitch. So that's 2 single crochets in this stitch. Okay, so this is round 3. So for round 4, we need to increase this to 18 stitches. So we're doing an increase in the first 2 stitches, single crochet for the next 10 stitches, and then increase in the last 2 stitches. So we're starting off with our first increase. Okay, I'm going to increase in the next stitch. Then I'm just going to do a single crochet in the next 10 stitches. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to do an increase in the next stitch. And an increase in the last stitch of this round. Okay, So that's round 4. So for round 5 we want to increase this to 24 stitches. So what we're going to do, we're going to do an increase in the first 3 stitches, a single crochet in the next 12 stitches, and then an increase in the last 3 stitches. So first of all is increase. Next stitch, increase again. Next stitch, increase again. One, two, three. Okay, so what we're going to do now is a single crochet in the next 12 stitches. I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which means the last 3 stitches I'm going to do an increase in each one of these. So it's just 2 single crochets in each of the last 3 stitches of this round. Alright, so this is round 5. So for round 6 we're going to start decreasing. We want to decrease this to 18 stitches. So what we're going to do is just a single crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then we're decreasing over the next 2 stitches, and we're doing that all the way around. So I'll count 1, 2, and I'll say decrease. 1, 2, decrease. 1, oops, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, and decrease. Okay, so this is round 6, which has 18 stitches. So for round 7 we're decreasing it to 12 stitches. Where we're going to do a single crochet in the first stitch and a decrease over the next 2 stitches, and we're doing that all the way around. So 1, 2, decrease, 1 decrease, 1 decrease, 1 decrease, 1. Okay, so I've run out of navy blue bands already. I'm going to switch over to black, just keep continuing with navy blue. So decrease, 1, and a final decrease. Okay, please ignore the way it looks. Okay, so this is round 7, so we have one more round of his feet. We have round 8, which we're going to decrease to 8 stitches. So we're just going to do we're going to reduce to 6 stitches, so we're just going to do a decrease 6 times all around. So decrease, and this is 1, decrease again, 2, decrease again, 3, decrease again, 4, decrease again, 5, and then you have one more decrease, and after this I'm just gonna fasten off by going through the first stitch, and then I'm tying a slip stitch, and for the moment I'm just going to attach the end to a clip. Taking out my marker, and then you can put this aside, and the next thing we're going to do is his arm. So for his arm, I'm actually making it smaller than I did for this one. This one is a little bit too fat, so we're just making it a little bit smaller. So putting this aside, we want to start off with his body color band, which is the ocean blue jelly for me. So the first thing we want to do is we want to start off with a magic ring with 6 stitches. So I'm wrapping this band around my hook 2 times to create 3 loops. My first stitch in the ring will be a slip stitch. This is 1, so I'm going to go back through and I'm going to do 5 more single crochets. So I'm just going to count. This is first stitch, 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so for round 2 of the arm, we want to increase it to 9 stitches. So what we're going to do is a single crochet in the first stitch, increase in the next one, and we're doing that all the way around. But to close up this circle, our first stitch of the second round, we're going to do a slip stitch. So this counts as 1 stitch. Put on your marker. So I have an increase in the next stitch. So 2 single crochets. Next stitch I have a single crochet. Next one, increase. Next one, single crochet. Alright, and then in the last stitch you have an increase. Okay, so what you want to do now for rounds 3 to 10, we need another 8 rounds of 9 stitches, so it's just a single crochet in each stitch for 8 rounds. I'm going to take out 8 bands, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just going to do one round with you. It's just very simple, a single crochet in each stitch. Every time you start a round, take a band from here. It's just single crochet all the way around. Okay, so I just finished round 3. I'm just going to start round 4. So I'm going to do round 4 up to round 10 all off camera. So just pause the video here and just complete up to round 10. So it's just a single crochet in each stitch. Each round has 9 stitches. Just review and resume the video once you're done with that. So once you've completed that, you have this. This is the arm. So you're just going to stuff it a little bit now. So you just get a bit of your fiber fill. And you're just going to stuff his arm. Okay, so now we're just going to continue on with his hand. So you're going to switch over now to his body color green. For me, it's the lime green. And what you're going to do now is you're going to do a single crochet in each stitch in the back loops only. So this will be round 11. So I'm just going to go through the back loops only. This is the one that's closest to the stuffing. I'm just going to take this out since it's caught into 2. Okay, so I'm getting my lime green, and I'm only going to go through the back loops. This is the one that's closest to the inside, so it's the inside loops. I'm just going to do a single crochet in each stitch. Don't go through both loops, just the inside loop or the back loop only. Okay, I totally forgot to put on my stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I seem to be missing a stitch, so I'm just going to cheat and do an increase here. Okay, so for the next round, which is round 12, we want to do another round of another round of 9 stitches. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to go through the next stitch, and this is a proper single crochet. So just do 1, and then just do a single crochet in each one of the stitches. So once you've done that, you're moving on to round 13. So round 13 we are increasing this to 12 stitches, so we want to do a single crochet in the first 2 stitches and an increase in this 3rd stitch, and we're doing that all the way around. So 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, and one more increase. So before we go any further, we want to stuff his hand a little bit more, so just get some more fiber fill, and then we're just going to stuff it just a little bit more. Okay, I think that should be enough for me, so I'm just going to take out this stitch marker for now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fold this in half like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this this stitch here, and I'm going to go through the stitch opposite. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up bend, so I'm going to chain it. I'm going to chain 4 times. So this is 1 chain, 2, 3, 4. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the 2nd chain from my hook, and I'm going to single crochet all the way down. So single crochet, next chain, single crochet, and I have 1 more chain, single crochet. So I'm at the bottom of the chain now. What I want to do is I want to squeeze it again, and I want to go through the next 2 stitches. So the next stitch on this side and then the corresponding stitch on the opposite side. I'm going to single crochet. Okay, then I'm going to put my hook through the next 2 stitches, so the next stitch on this side and then the corresponding stitch on the other side. I'm going to chain 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, I'm just going to go through the 2nd chain from my hook, and I'm going to single crochet all the way down. So single crochet, going to move on to my next stitch. Okay, then I have another chain here. And once I'm done with all the chains, I'm going to find the next stitch and then the stitch after that. Oops. Alright, I'm just going to single crochet. Then going through the next set of stitches, I'm going to chain 3 this time. Don't chain 4, chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go down with a single crochet again, and then I have 1 more here. Okay, so I'm going to go through the next set of stitches here. I'm going to do a single crochet. And then lastly, I'm going to go through that stitch again, and I'm going to fasten off by tying a slip stitch. Okay, so I'm pulling this tight. What I'm going to do This is his hand, so straightening out his fingers. I'm just going to put my hook through like so, and I'm just going to grab this band and pull it through and just tuck it in. You can put a clip at the end, I'm just not going to for this one. And then you can put this aside. Next thing we're going to do is his ear. So now we're going to do an ear. I'm taking a green, which is my lime green, the same color as I did his body and his hands. And we're creating a magic ring with 6 stitches, so I'm wrapping this 2 times to create 3 loops. My first stitch will be a slip stitch. Now I'm going to do 5 single crochets in this magic ring. So this is 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to twist this around so this goes on top. I'm going to chain 1. Okay, so let me just count the stitches for you. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is considered the 6th stitch. So what we want to do now is we want to do an increase in each stitch. So this one is a little bit tricky, it only has 1 band. We're just going to go through this one and we're going to do an increase. So that's 2 single crochets in this stitch. It's a little bit flimsy, but it should still be okay. So we're moving on. We're just going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch. So that's an increase in all stitches. So after this you should have 12 stitches on the outside. Okay, so as you can see, it's the shape of a semicircle right now, so it should look like this. What you're going to do now is you're going to turn this around. You're going to chain 1 again. And what you're going to do is you're going to increase this to 18 stitches. So you're just going to do a single crochet in the first stitch, which is this one, and then increase, then all the way around. We're just going to do that, okay? So let me just count the stitches again for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, let me just fix that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we don't need to do it in this one, it should be this one. So we're doing a single crochet. Next stitch we're doing an increase. Okay, and then we're going to do a single crochet, then an increase, single crochet, then increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and an increase. Okay, we actually need to fold over the ear, but we're just going to do this when we're attaching it. So you just fasten off now, go through the same stitch, and then you're just going to tie a slip stitch. And I'm just going to clip the end. Okay, and I'm just going to put this aside. So right now you need to go back to the beginning of the video. You need to make another eye, another arm, another foot, another ear. I think I've got everything. Yep, and then just resume the video once you're done with that. Okay, the next thing we're going to make is the antenna that's coming out the top of his head. You'll need to wire it, so you can either use pipe cleaners, but I'm going to use floral wire. This is a 26 gauge wire. Just be careful if you're a kid, do this under adult supervision only. So my wire is pretty thin, so the one thing I want to do, I want to fold it in half, which is probably why it's a bit better to use a pipe cleaner for this, but I don't have one, so I'm just using floral wire. I'm going to fold this in half again. So this will be the height of my antenna. As I said, just be careful about the sharp ends. I'm going to grab my guy. So looking at the top of his head, I'm just going to stuff this end of the wire into his head. Like that. So it's just going to be roughly that height. So I'm just going to put this aside for the moment, and I'm just going to grab my green bands. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I just want to chain 7. So I'm taking my green band, I'm wrapping this around my hook 2 times to create 3 loops. I'm going to chain 7, so 1, 2, oops, sorry, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually just going to put this aside. I'm just going to hold it on my finger. No, actually, in fact, I'm just going to find another holding hook. Okay, I'm just going to put this aside for a minute. I'm going to make the top of the ball of the antenna. So I'm just going to grab 5 green bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to wrap each green band around my hook 2 times to create 3 loops. That's 1, 2, push it down, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do, I want to take another band, 1 single band. I'm going to pull all those loops onto that band, so you just do this carefully. Okay, then you're just going to reclaim that end. Now, taking off your holding hook, what you're going to do is now you're going to hook that chain like so. Sorry, and then you're just going to pull this band, the one with the 5 loops, onto that chain. This might be a little bit fiddly, just take your time. You're just pulling it on like that. Okay, got it? So once you're done with that, what you're going to do is you're going to go down this chain with single crochets. So I'm going through the next chain. I'm going to do a single crochet. Okay, I'm going to go through the next chain. I'm doing a single crochet. I'm just going to go all the way down. Okay, so once I come to the end, I'm just going to rotate this. I'm going to go through that chain again for another single crochet. So now I'm working on this side of the chain, the unworked side, and I'm just going to do single crochets all the way back up now. Okay, so now I've reached the end. The one thing that I want to do is I want to fold this in half like we did the collar of his shirt, and I'm just going to slip stitch from this side and this side, the corresponding sides. I'm just going to slip stitch all the way down. So just keep going down, matching each stitch. So you're just going through each one of the opposite stitches. You're just closing up and slip stitching. Okay, actually before I do this last one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my guy. I'm just going to put this wire through the center of that, or the middle of that antenna. Okay, this one's a little bit difficult. Sorry if you can't really see. And this is the reason why I've actually decided to use floral wire as well, because it's green. So you can hide it, but you can use a green pipe cleaner, it might be a bit better. Alright, so I've stuffed that on. Alright, now I just want to do the last slip stitch. Can you see? Yep, this is my last slip stitch. And now just to secure it to its head, I'm just going to go through some of the headbands and the bottom of the antenna band. It should stay securely. I'm just going to use one stitch. You can use more if you'd like. Oops. Yes, and that's why I wanted to do just one. My bands tend to fly. So let me just try that again. Okay, so I've stitched that on. I'm just going to wrap this loose band around the base of the antenna, just so I don't need to clip it. And then it's a little bit bent, so I'm just going to adjust it. So that's his antenna done. So then we're just going to put everything together, and then we should be done. Okay, so the first thing I want to attach is I want to attach his arms. So just grab one arm. It's supposed to attach this way, so I know this part is rounded. What you're going to do is you're going to turn it to its side, so it's like this. You're going to flatten this top, and you're just going to sew along the top of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm turning my alien to the side. I'm attaching this to just under the collar. I'm taking my hook, and I'm just going to go through the body bands and then the arm bands just slightly under that rounded part, and I'm just going to slip stitch. You may need to adjust the stitches based on how your alien is stuffed. Yeah, the more stuffing you put, the more it's going to stick out, so you might want to stitch it a little bit lower down the arm. This is, like I said, it depends on how you stuff it and how you've done your arm. So, but I'm just happy with just doing that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wrap this end around his arm, and I'm just going to pull it up to the top. So I have one arm attached. It's a little bit skinnier than the other one, and it sticks out a little bit. I might want to add stitches close to stitch his arm a bit closer to the body, but for now I'm just going to leave this. So I'm just going to attach the other arm in the same way. So once again, oh yes, I forgot to tell you, the shorter thing, which is this one, this is the thumb. So you want the thumb facing up, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so this is the thumb for this one, so you're attaching it like this. Alright, so I'm facing it this way. I'm squeezing the top. Once again, I'm positioning it under that collar. And then I'm just going to go through the bands in the body and the arm. And the positioning of where you're stitching it will depend on how much you've stuffed this arm, how big it is. Yeah, but for now, just stitch the top part. And if you need to have the arm stick closer to the body, you can just go back and stitch a little bit lower down as well. So once again, I'm just going to wrap this end of the band around his arm, and I'm just going to put it up. So it looks like a little bit of a shoulder, so I might want to adjust the stitches later, but those are his arms. So you can see they're attached. They're attached and they're, yep, okay. Pretty good. I'm quite satisfied with that. So the next thing I want to do, I want to attach his feet. Now, as I said, I've run out of the navy blue band, so I am attaching his feet with clear bands. So I'm just going to grab my clear bands. Please use your navy blue bands so it doesn't look strange. Okay, so what you're going to do, you can just lie your guy like this. You're taking 1 foot. Alright, and what you're going to do, the bottom of the foot is the one with, I'm not too sure whether you can see, the one that has the tying off band there. So I'm just going to hide this. I'm not going to bother taking out the C-clip, the clip at the end. I'm a bit too lazy to do that. So I'm just hiding it, and I'm positioning the shoe or his foot just under that leg thing. So the same thing, what I want to do is I want to slip stitch this way. So in a semicircle, I'm going to go through the bands in his leg and then the bands in his shoe, and then I'm just going to slip stitch around the sides. Please use your navy blue bands. It's not really obvious when the alien is standing up, but it just does not look nice if you use a different color to stitch it on. Alternatively, you can actually stitch it like how I've been stitching recently, which is on top, so you don't see the visible stitches. But I find it's a bit more difficult for the shoe because it's thicker. So I'm just doing it at the sides. And as you can see, the clear bands are very obvious, so please don't use clear bands. If you can, just use the same as the shoe color. I could have used the same as the leg color, but I think it would look a bit strange because it's eating into the shoe. Okay, I'm just going to rotate him a little bit. Okay, as you can see, this part's not stitched on. It's gonna be a little bit flappy. So what you can do is you can actually stitch this part, which I will show you how I'm gonna do that. First of all though, I'm just gonna clip this end. Okay, and then I'm just gonna hide it underneath. So how I'm gonna stitch this part, the stitches are a bit obvious, so it's quite ugly. Alright, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through the bands in his shoe, right in the middle, and I'm just gonna stitch it through the leg. I know the color is a bit hard to see. You don't want to do it at the edge. I'm just trying to do it in the middle so it doesn't flop around. Okay, I'm just going to do one more stitch. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to connect this end to the other side of my S-clip here, and this I'm going to hide inside the leg if it wants to go in. It doesn't seem to want to. Okay, so that's one of his feet attached. As you can see, you can see my visible stitches, which is why I said please, if you have enough bands, just use it, stitch it on with your foot color. Alright, so I'm going to attach the other leg off camera because it's a little bit easier for me to do. So just do the same thing. What you're doing is you're positioning the other leg, stitching on the outside, and then you're just going to stitch on the inside. So just resume the video once you've attached this other leg. Okay guys, so I actually reattached his leg. I used the body color band instead because I did not like the clear bands at all. Okay, so that's him. The next thing I want to do now, I want to attach his eyes. So I'm just grabbing my white bands. Okay, and then the first eye I'm going to attach, I know you can't really see him, he's a bit tall, is the one that's in the middle. Right, so then once you get that position correct, then you can, you know, the other two is quite easy to get. So I'm just lying him on his side so it might be a little bit easier to see. I'm just going to take out this clip and I'm just going to stitch it on. So I'm going to go through the eye bands, I'm going to go through the bands in his head, and I'm using white bands. I'm just going to stitch, slip stitch. You might want to flatten the eyes out a little bit more, or if you prefer, you can have it a little bit more 3D. I quite like my eyes a bit more flattened, so I'm just going to try and flatten it as I stitch. Okay, so this is one eye attached. I'm just going to get my clip, the one I took out, and I'm just going to push this into the head. So I'm just going to hide this. It's okay if it comes out for now, I'm just going to fix it later. So that's one eye. I'm going to attach another one, so I'm just going to put the one that's next to it on the left. Here, I'm going to position it. If I'm happy with that, I'm just going to lie him down, and I'm taking out this clip. So same thing again, I'm just going to keep slip stitching the eye to the head. So I'm just going to go through both bands and tie slip stitches. I know I keep saying tie slip stitches, it's more like do a slip stitch, I don't know. I keep wanting to say tie a slip knot, I guess it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm just going to clip the end again, and I'm hiding it in the body, sorry, in its head. So that's 2 eyes. I have a 3rd eye. It's slightly lopsided, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, I'm not very organized when it comes to my bands. They're still all in their bags, so I just have to grab them every now and then. Okay, so now I'm just going to clip the end. I'm hiding the end of the clip, so those are the eyes attached. Alright, let's just attach his ears. Okay, so now I'm grabbing one of the ears. As you can see, it looks a little bit of a half moon crescent shape. I want to flatten it out a bit, so I just want to make it a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do for one of them, I'm just going to fold it like this. I'm taking out this clip. And what I just want to do is I want to just go through some of the bands at the edge, and I'm just going to tie a slip stitch like this. Okay, this loose band is a little bit irritating, so I'm just going to go through it again. I'm going to go through the bands in the middle. Okay, I'm going to slip stitch again. So what I want to do is that this folded side, I want to hide it in its head. So I'm just taking my guy, I'm putting his ear like that. I'm just going to sew it flat onto his head. The rounded side is at the back. As you can see here, the rounded side is at the back. So I'm just going to slip stitch a semicircle around. Okay, sorry, it just came out. I'm just going to do it again. I know you can't really see. This guy's a little bit big. Okay, so I'm just gonna clip the end again and stuff this into his head, or you can wrap it around the ear, but I don't want to do that at this moment. I have too many clips, which I'm sure is the case for a lot of people, so I just tend to like to just use them up. Alright, so that's one ear. I'm taking my other ear. So for this ear you want the rounded end on this side. So what you're going to do is the end that you're folding in, you're folding it this way. So whatever side you're doing, just make sure you fold the inside one. You fold it to the inside, and then this round part is on the outside. So once again, I'm just going to remove this clip, and then I'm just going to slip stitch. Or you could do this immediately. Let me try and do that and see whether it makes a difference. I don't think there should be. Alright, we can just do it straight away. So we can just slip stitch the ear to his head. Okay, apparently it doesn't make a difference. Oh well. Okay, you can't really see it properly, but all I'm doing is I'm just slip stitching in a semicircle around the ear. Okay, so I'm just going to clip again, and then I'm just going to hide this in the head. Okay, there you go, his ears are attached. Mine are a little bit lopsided, it's okay. Alright, you can adjust it. Alright, so now we're just going to move on to his mouth, and then we're just going to do that little logo, and then we're done. So for the mouth, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 9. I'm just going to wrap this around my hook 3 times to create 4 loops, so I want a tighter capping band. I'm going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is his top lip. I'm just going to stitch it onto his face first. So what it is, there's 9 stitches. You want 3 that are flat, 1 that goes up, 1 that's at the top, 1 that comes down, and 3 that are flat, if you know what I mean. So at this angle it's quite difficult for you to see, so I'm just gonna just understand that I'm actually, oh sorry, I missed out one. It's supposed to be a chain 10, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the first chain. I'm just gonna slip stitch it on, so there are 3 that are flat. Slip stitch, just keep going. Okay, then I have 1 that's going upwards. I'm just slip stitching in the middle of the chain and into the head as well. So okay, then I have one that's the highest, at its highest peak. And then I have one that slants down slightly. And then I have 3 that are flat. At the lowest point. Okay, the lips are not extremely obvious, but I'm just trying my best with them. If you have a better way of doing his lips, let me know. I didn't exactly want to like slip stitch a smile or something. I wanted to have that trademark ooh in the mouth. So this is the only way that I could think of doing it. And it might not be the best way, but this is yeah, the way that I thought of. Okay, so that's the top lip attached. I don't really know what it looks like because I didn't. Yeah, it looks pretty much flat, but oh well. Okay, I'm just gonna temporarily clip this end, so I'm gonna make my other chain. Okay, so I'm wrapping this band around my hook 3 times to create 4 loops. I'm gonna chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, thinking about it, 9 should be fine. Sorry. Must be confusing you. Okay, let's just chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying this is because you have 1 stitch here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this off my hook. I'm going to take this loose band. I'm going to lie the first 3 bands on top of the first 3 bands we did. And I'm just going to slip stitch like this. This is a little bit tricky. So 1, 2. Okay, I'm gonna start going down because his mouth is a little bit too small for my liking. So I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger by starting the downward stitch a little bit earlier. You can adjust depending on your alien's mouth as well. So get the rough shape that you want. I'm going to start climbing up now. Okay, and I'm really nervous to see what it looks like because I'm looking at it upside down. And the last chains I want to overlap. Okay, his mouth is really lopsided. Hopefully yours turns out better. Okay, so I'm just going to clip the end. And I'm shoving this into his body, sorry, his head. Okay, so that's his mouth. It's to the side. I might do it again. So I'm just gonna I'm actually probably just gonna adjust it off camera because I couldn't see where it was going. So anyway, just pause the video here and then we'll just do the emblem once I'm done. Hi guys, so you can see I adjusted his mouth so it looks a little bit better. So alright, the next thing we want to do, or the last thing we want to do, is that little emblem thing. This is a little bit difficult. It's purely stitching on. So what I want to do first is I want to start with an orange band. So you want to stitch a circle here in orange. So a circle is not easy to stitch on with bands, so you just have to try your best. It looks good regardless of what you do, so don't worry too much about it. So I'm just going to go and try and do a circle. You're tying slip stitches. If you didn't know what I mean by stitch on, you're just tying slip stitches on with bands in a circle. Just keep going. This is honestly not easy to do, but you know, all the details make this alien what it is. I think without it, it would just look a little bit boring. You can choose not to do it if you don't like the way it looks. Oops. And okay, so I'm back to the beginning. I'm going to just close off this circle. Okay, I am using a lot of clips for this. I'm going to clip the end and I'm going to shove it into the body as usual. Okay, so I don't really know what it is, but inside it looks like some pizza thing, so I'm going to get some red bands. What I'm going to do with the red bands, I'm going to wrap this red band around my hook. Let's say 3 times to create 4 loops. So I'm going to take another red band, I'm going to pull that on, and I'm going to reclaim the end. Oh no, I don't need to reclaim the end actually, I can just hold this end. So I'm just going to go through some of the bands in the middle, like this. I'm going to grab this other side of the red band. I'm going to pull this through. I'm going to tie a slip stitch. So I'm pulling this end through. And what do I do with this loose end? I'm just going to wrap it around this capping band thing, like so. Okay, that should keep it in place. So there's roughly two or three of them in there. I'm just going to put in 2. I'm taking another red band. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, so I'm wrapping this around my hook 3 times to create 4 loops. Finding another red band. Yes, my band's all over the place. I'm having a bit of hard time. Okay, yes, so I'm just going to pull that capping band on. Alright, and I'm just going to find another position. Let's say here. Grab some of the blue bands. I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull this red band through. I'm going to tie a slip stitch, and with this loose end of the band I am going to tie this around that capping band and it will stay there. Alright, so now what we have left, we have a yellow stripe going through it, so I'm just going to start from here. I'm going to put my hook vertically, and with yellow I'm going to slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm just going to go this way, so try and go in a straight line. Okay, I'm going to come out the other side. Okay, my clip has come out. I'm just going to ignore it for now, and just to make this thicker, I'm going to go and do the same thing all the way back. Okay, this red band has come off. Alright, and then this will be my last yellow band. Alternatively, I suppose you could put the end of this yellow band together with that orange band. Yeah, I guess so. I need to stretch this out a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to clip that end. And I'm putting it, sorry, into the body, hiding it underneath that stuffing. Okay, so I want to hide this side as well. Okay, still a little bit visible, but anyway, this aside, you're done with your alien. So this is the Toy Story alien. I'm just going to move it a little bit further so you can see, and this is versus the first one I made. I think body wise I probably got it correct. This one might be a little bit bigger. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Do share it with your friends as well if you like it. Each share, you're helping me out, you're encouraging me to make more. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be making more Loomigurumi plushies. They're mostly plushies anyway. And if you have any requests for things that you'd like to see, please let me know. I do read all of the comments, so I will keep all your suggestions in mind, but I'll tend to make the things which I have colored bands for. I have a lot of pink and I have a lot of red, and yep, so I'll see you guys for the next video, and thanks for watching.